Hello and welcome, guys. Don't you find it quite fascinating that we now have kind of like a protocol to capture mythological beings on camera? Like small ones, not the huge one. Like creatures on all size or smaller, or like the gnomes. This video is not going to be about that. But just want to mention that because we are working with mud fossils and invisible beings that we can capture on camera. I want to bring these words together. I don't think any other channel is doing that. So I'm gonna make some videos about both subjects, because both of these subjects are unified under the subject of mythology. Now this video will be about some smaller mud fossils. Not really small, not compared to us, but mud fossils that are within my reach and are pretty big. So let's start with this. I can see here in my town on the other side of the fjord. Because I find it kind of funny because, people are like very fascinated by the mountains over here. This seems to be the most popular mountains in this area, in this town. Yeah, people be like, yeah, these mountains, I never get tired of these mountains over here. I love them. They're taking picture of what's going on over here, but it's completely ignoring what's going on over here. If you understand what is going on over here, you will know exactly why you're so fascinated by these mountains. You see, they don't even know why. They can go all their life without ever realizing what is really taking place right in front of them, because of simply what they have been told.
Yes, there was push. The mountains were pushed up by pressure and millions and millions of years of glaciers and movements by the tectonic crust. And dinosaurs lived millions and millions of years ago, and all of that is the facts. We have proven that we have. I have a PhD. I know what I'm talking about. I have been studied all my life, and I've been taught to repeat and study and repeat that information over and over again. And I have top score in geology.
But you see, there's one thing that does not make sense. How did millions of tons of solid rock form? They suggest that these mountains shaped like a dough and pushed up from the ground. You see, it is not logical. Did they ever explain if it was somehow softer in the past? I don't think they said anything about it. It didn't give us the full picture, you see. It was never pushed up from the ground. It's more like mounted onto the earth. You see how that works? Think about that for a moment. Mounted. Mountain. It's mountain on the earth. It's a monument. How is your geology gonna explain these symmetrical objects? How does your geology explain that this part of the mountains looks like some kind of dragon head? And why does this look like a shoulder? Why does this look like wings? Why does it happen to be a shape here looking like a tail? I guess it's just the Earth decided to push up the mountains in that shape for some random reason. Or because you've been told that, you're blind to the fact that this is a 50-mile European dragon. And then you get the Værøy. It is approximately the same size, but we got a different species of dragon. And I wonder if this dragon has some kind of Egyptian origins. Now, you might not recognize it as such exactly as being a dragon at first glance, because the facts are that this petrification process has caused the skeletons and bones to break down, and so that had caused the body of the dragon to shape and form and morph into looking differently. So it's not that blatant unless someone is pointing that out. Think about that. But look, like this dragon's head, his nose looks kind of solid. Some parts of it has been well preserved under the process of petrification that help you recognize some of his body parts better. Like the head of this European dragon that people aren't even paying attention to. But this Værøy dragon, the reason why I think it could have Egyptian origins is due to the patterns in the mountain. Yes, I did use mirror effect to see this, but that also becomes a piece of art that I hang on the wall, so don't misunderstand. The mirror effect makes it blatant, it decoding the genetic code. It's like a Fibonacci sequence. The impression in the patterns reveal some shape, like the shape you get on these pharaohs' headdresses, these pharaohs' crown things. And not only that, it also gives the impression of a beard, like that pharaoh's beard thing. So this might be some kind of sphinx. It is possible that they made them grow this kind of hair, or they genetically modify these things to grow things looking like that. Because they grew the Sphinx. The Sphinx was a real creature, and the Egyptian deities were playing around with genetics, creating all kinds of weird hybrid creatures, So when looking at these patterns, I wonder if this is some kind of cobra bird dragon beast who had a beard growing out of him. Now, is this creature mentioned in the Egyptian history or in Egyptian mythology, what the normies will call it? So I looked around and I found this creature called Amit. It kind of reminded me of him, of this creature, but I don't think he's the same thing, as it's not depicted the same way. But it shows us what kind of creature we can expect from the Egyptian folklore, and it ties in perfectly, everything. Guys, this is some of the most important archaeological work someone can do. An island of an Egyptian origin out here in Norway. I need to go there and collect some rock samples. That will help me confirm the truth. All I need to do is to find some rocks that matches up with the island, that looks exactly like the island. And then maybe take some more pictures, and that will help me confirm more of what I am seeing here. Or will you doubt my method? I get it if you want to doubt my method, because no one has ever done this before. No one has ever thought outside the box like this, It's super easy, very easy. How will you even DNA analyze this? Even if you got soft DNA sample from this thing, how will you plan to even decode that DNA without some data that can recognize it? If you gave this to a scientist in laboratory, Helix lab, do you really expect them to recognize this DNA? They might be able to recognize or confirm that this is DNA of some flesh and blood somehow, but they will probably not understand what they're looking at. A mixture of all kinds of creatures, you know. It's a cobra, it's a lion, it's a... yeah, who knows what. Yeah, so I guess you can call this petrified photographic decoding, or a photographic sequencing of their petrified genetic tissue. Yeah, I guess it's probably too easy, too simple to be true. It's too good to be true or something, right? Someone's gonna think that. The brain aren't even gonna process what is happening, what is taking place in front of them. The significance of it. It is hyper logical, you know. You see, this is so logical that it's just too good to be true. People aren't gonna be able to understand that this is actually the coolest thing they ever seen. And I have confirmed it so many times, it is undeniable. 100, 1000% undeniable. If you can't see this, maybe you need a pair of glasses. It is right there. You can see it, smell it, touch it. That rock matches the landscape perfectly, 100% like a puzzle piece. That right there is 100% fact. It is undeniable. It is reality. You can go out and confirm that. It is so simple. This is not AI generated. AI can never do this. AI cannot copy this, because this is reality. You can test my claim. Try to make AI do this. No, you can't. It's impossible. You need to develop some new type of robot that can photography if you want the AI to be able to do this. If you catch my drift. I mean, if you want to, you could limit yourself completely to only the academic methods. That's not my problem. But I see no value in that. I see no point in that. Because this is a new thing. No one has ever done this ever. And you see, it's undoubtedly working. So why not? I turned this picture of this rock into this dragon face, just as an example. And that matches up with the landscape and confirming that this is what species of dragons this is. Even though I'm not an expert in dragon species, but it does in fact show what species of dragon this is. And of course also by using rocks, both by looking at rocks and by looking at the patterns in the landscape. But this Værøy, the weather island, this Sphinx beast, it seems to have multiple species, multiple kind of creatures, you know, but seems to mainly be a dragon. Or I guess many dragons were a mixture of different species, different animals. Another thing, what's interesting, this weather island, that's where the midnight sun is taking place. I guess we got midnight sun here too, but this is not so far away. And the Egyptians worship these sun gods. Maybe this creature were connected, or maybe the creation of a sun god or something, and they placed him here because of some ley line thing or something. Its position is probably not random. They did this. They selectively placed some of these things. It's true. That's Roger has uncovered those things, or at least claimed that. Well, you know, some do this work and some do that work. I gotta do this work, you know. If you want, you can dig into some Egyptian things and help me out with this. I welcome anyone to do that. Yeah, so there is a lot of these Egyptian deities, you know. Figuring out which one this island came from. It's easier said than done. Maybe the island was considered an Egyptian god. You know, this creature Ammit is considered a god, apparently. So, and maybe even this island is Ammit, who knows? I definitely see both impressions of lions and a reptile and a dragon, you know. And then you got this cobra kind of thing going around it. Or is it a lion's hair? But I'm pretty sure that Egyptian impression thing is not random. I'm pretty sure about that. So anyways, you gotta check out this Stay with Ramsay map. I found something pretty interesting there. It seems that my country, Norway, is kind of missing from the map. I mean, at least half of it. Now I find that kind of odd, considering how detailed this map is. And what is that thing over there looking like a portal? In the ocean close to Norway. There's lots of mysteries. What if most of this landscape is not as old as we think, you know? It could be like under 500 years old. Now, most people find that very hard to believe, but that's because of all the indoctrinations we have been going through since we were kids. I really think this European dragon on the other side of the fjord here is probably not older than 310 years. Now, I can't go along, I don't know about you, but I can't go along with the indoctrination. Just look at these old crazy maps with those pretty terrifying creatures. I found this, and on the map I found that. I mean, that's so crazy. How can I try to fit in with the indoctrination world, you know? This washed up society in the fake box thinking. No, I can't go along with that. That's an illusion, man. That's the big illusion. This is reality, man. Reality is terrifying, dude. Yeah, reality is freaking terrifying. So, if you want to join me on this journey in uncovering the truth about this island and what happened to Norway, why is this map looking like that? Is it just an error in making the map, or is it something else? So if you want to join me on that journey, just click that subscribe button and I keep you updated. I don't really like asking for likes and subscriptions, but naturally, the more of an audience I got, the more meaningful this will be. I mean, it's pretty freaking meaningful already, but I want to thank you all who has contributed by subscribing and liking and commenting and sharing, if anyone ever did that. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.